when citrus is plentiful. So if you've got a good market, or even better if you have trees of your own, or if you have generous friends as we did, and our thanks to Sanda and John, then you have a lot of lemons. And what do you do when you have a lot of lemons? We say when you have lemons, make marmalade. Making marmalade is easy. All you need is some lemons and a few cool tools. The first thing you want to do is weigh your lemons. So a recipe calls for a pound of lemons. We're going to make a double recipe. So we're going to weigh out 2 pounds of lemons plus 2 additional lemons. Once you've weighed your lemons, then you want to wash them. We like to use this brush from Progressive because it's got both hard bristles to use on citrus as well as soft bristles to use on mushrooms. And that means you've got one brush that can do both things, a multitasker that takes up less room in your drawer. Once you've washed your lemons, then it's time to start chopping. This is going to be a lemon ginger marmalade. So first we're going to chop the ginger. I've peeled it and sliced it, and now the easiest way to chop it is to put it in the Big Mouth chopper with the 1/4-inch dice. You just go through and it gets into a nice dice to put in your marmalade. Now it's time to cut the lemons. You want to start by cutting them from pole to pole like this, and then notch out a V in the center. You want to get the seeds and the center pith out, but don't throw them away. The seeds and center pith are loaded with pectin, and so they become gelling gold. So take them and put them into this very handy silicone herb and spice infuser that you'll put into the pot when you're cooking the lemons. Once you've finished preparing the lemons, then it's time to slice them, and we use the Big Mouth chopper for that. It's really simple. You just switch out the dicing blade, put in the slicing blade, and then put them across this way so that you're slicing them in half and at the same time slicing them into 1/4-inch slices. And so just go like this. And in no time, you have a bowl full of 1/4-inch sliced quarters of lemons that will be beautiful in your lemon marmalade. Once you finish chopping, then just dump it all into your pot, taking a little bit of time and care to see if there are any seeds that you missed. But as you can see, you've got beautiful slices to start your marmalade. Whoops, I saw a seed. We'll put that into our little container. Once you've added the water, then you want to put it on the stove and bring it to a boil. You do this before you add the sugar so that you're not caramelizing the sugar. In the meantime, while you've been preparing all this, you want to sterilize your jars. So you do that in boiling water in a covered pot and just let them sort of cook away so that they're nice and clean. We removed the seeds and added the sugar, and now we're cooking it to get it to the gel stage so that we can can it. As the marmalade's cooking, you want to skim off the scum to get rid of it, because that's not a very nice thing to have in your marmalade. And this is a particularly good skimmer. It's got a great shape, and because it's very fine, it does a really good job of skimming. Now it's time to test for gelling. So first, if you think it's close, turn it off so it doesn't cook anymore. Then take a plate out of the freezer that you've put in the freezer. These are in the instructions. take a little bit of the liquid from the marmalade, put it on the plate, and put the plate back in the freezer for 2 minutes. Okay, this is the plate that had been in the freezer for 2 minutes. As you can see, it runs very slowly, and I think our marmalade's ready. Now, what we do is take the cans out of the canner. Do this using a tool. You don't want to use your hands. Dump the water out and put your jars on a towel. Now you can take some of that water and put it into a bowl where you've placed your lids. This is really all the time that you need to sterilize your lids. Now, once the marmalade is ready, you're ready to put it in the jars. Your jars have been sterilized. You've also put the funnel and the scoop and the chopstick into the water to sterilize them as well. So what you want to do is scoop the marmalade into your jar up to about 1/4 of an inch below the rim. This scoop's very handy. It sits on the side of your bowl, the side of your pot with this little hook, and it's really good at getting stuff out. Take your chopstick and go around the inside of the jar so that you don't have any bubbles, and then move all of this over to the next jar. That's the easiest way to do it. Take a paper towel if you need to and just go around the rim to make sure that it's clean. Then get your lid out of the water that it was in to sterilize it. And I like to use this lid lifter. It's got a magnet so you don't have to put your hands in the hot water. Center it on your jar. Take a ring, put it on, and just tighten it finger tight. Once all the jars are filled, put them in the canning bath. You've left the water on, or the stove on, so that the water is still hot. And you want to put all of the jars in here, then cover the pot and boil this for 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes has passed. We're now going to take them out. And now the fun begins. If you have a fairly weird sense of fun, which I do, and that is waiting to hear them pop. Popping means that they've sealed, and that's a good thing. And that's the sound you're listening for. That's the jars popping, which means that they're sealed. And that's 4 jars sealed. The rest will come along shortly. You probably don't want to stay and watch it. But thank you, and thank you for coming to Colebrook Kitchen.